Time Huns, the podcast.
Before we start this podcast, it's purely a reflection of our own views and opinions, but if you think it's about you,
It probably is.
This week's episode is all about the Mandela effect.
Yeah. So if you don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's basically where everyone in like our generation, what are we? Millennials?
Don't know.
No, we're the one before that. Anyway, anyone in that generation,
80s, 90s.
80s, 90s, yeah, 80, born in the 80s or the 90s, we remember things, but then when you look back at them now, they didn't happen.
They've gone.
Or they happened, or something, yeah, or something's changed.
The reason that it's called this is because an absolute Hun called Fiona Broome, she had this feeling in regards to Nelson Mandela. So she must have been talking to one of her mates, like, oh yeah, remember that Mandela geezer? He died in the 80s in prison. And then someone's gone, no, he didn't, Fiona. He died in 2013. She's gone, fucking what? Then she's gone onto the internet and seen that he had died in 2013. Then she starts questioning her own reality. Then she started looking into it a bit more, right? Then thought, fuck it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copyright this whole paranormal situation because I'm a paranormal consultant and name it the Mandela effect. That's basically Wikipedia like we've consolidated that into making it easier for you to understand. No one probably gives a shit about when Nelson Mandela died, because unfortunately he did die. But he was the president of South Africa, so yay.
I just think like it's one of those things where
I don't remember him living that long though.
I feel like I definitely didn't know he was still alive in 2013.
No, he weren't. I had Ava in 2012. All I remember happening then was the royal wedding and the Olympics. Nelson Mandela weren't on the scorecard. I'm telling you, I'd remember. All I did was breastfeed and watch telly.
Oh, it's bizarre. But anyway, so whilst we were like in this rabbit hole, we decided to start discussing shit that we remember that isn't actually true.
So we'll give you some examples, right? So there's loads of this on YouTube, TikTok, loads of examples. Like, it's so trippy. For instance, Looney Tunes. Now, Looney Tunes, I remember it as Looney Tunes, as in Toons on the logo, Bugs Bunny. It's not. It's Looney Tunes, like Looney,
like music,
like Tunes.
Listen to my Looney Tunes.
Like, why would it be that when they're cartoons? It'd be tunes. Fucking weird. Curious George the Monkey. Apparently, he ain't got a tail.
How is it? Yes, he has got a tail.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not in the episodes now. He ain't got a tail. If you got
in the old ones?
In the old one, he had a tail.
He's got a tail now, definitely, because he uses it to grab bananas.
He ain't, no.
We're going to have to YouTube it because that's fucking weird.
Febreze. Now...
I'm telling you now, this Febreze is not... I do not understand.
So Febreze, I thought Febreze was... How did you think Febreze?
Febreze.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's Febreze.
So no, in reality, it's actually Febreze. Right? Monopoly Man is monocle. I remember the Monopoly Man having a monocle as an eyeglass on the logo. He ain't got one. He's never had one.
No, that freaks me out because he definitely did.
Because I imagine, oh, let me look around. He weren't looking around at anything. He didn't even need a monocle, apparently.
Yeah, because he was just dealt with money.
Pikachu's tail.
Right, this one really...
My brother was obsessed with Pikachu. He had a teddy. It had a fucking black tail.
I am telling you now, Pikachu had a black bit on the end of his tail.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he does, though. This is the one that stresses me out.
This is the one that you spoke to me about. So the Mona Lisa... smile.
No, so I remember the Mona Lisa, she doesn't smile.
Yeah.
And the whole point in it being famous is because you can't tell if she's pissed off or if she's just chilling.
Yeah, so her face to me, what I remember, she's due on her period, she's fucking fuming, right? But she's trying to stay calm.
That's exactly it.
She's staying calm. She's got like no facial expression. She's like that resting bitch face, like boom. she's cracking a smile out now. That's so weird. So if you look at a picture of the Mona Lisa now, she's got a slight smirk, as in, "Hi, can I help?" That sort of
it's
face.
because she's like, you thought that I was
changed.
pissed off, now I'm happy.
Flintstones. We spoke about this on the phone last night. So the Flintstones, I thought it was FIFLINST Stones. It's got 2 T's in it.
I feel like I know that how would I say Flintstone? Yeah, Flintstone.
No, but if you look, we're obviously looking at pictures. That
doesn't, right, so for it to have 2 T's, that's not what the logo was.
No. Forrest Gump. So how many of us have gone, "Life's like a box of chocolates, you never know which one you're going to get"? It's not that. Apparently it's, if you watch it now, it's life was like a box of chocolates.
No!
And then it says, we're like as if it's that's like past tense.
That
But
is
sitting
not
on the
right.
bench.
We need to play a clip of that.
Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Apparently it's not that. Apparently it's magic mirror on the wall. This is
Yeah,
what
so
people
that
have
really
gone in, though.
that one stresses me out because everyone's always gone mirror, mirror on the wall. When I found out that it's magic mirror on the wall, I was like, no.
Ever since I was little, that's what your mum, your parents said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" It's not. It's magic mirror.
Right, I'm just gonna play this Forrest Gump thing because I need to hear it. So, oh, sorry, little advert. I need to hear it.
Is this the actual clip?
Yeah. Hang on, guys.
Gonna eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Oh, no.
Right. So this is what I mean. So also, right, I had this with Scary Movie. So I started seeing all this stuff and I was like, nah, this is just everyone just doing it for clout. I remember being at school, right, Scary Movie, the guy with the little hand going, "Take my strong hand." Everyone did it,
Yeah,
which
look.
is a bit weird.
So when I type in Scary Movie, it comes up with "Take My Strong Hand."
But it's not that. It's "Take my little hand."
Oh, I'm gonna play it.
Do you feel like you pun? Okay, fine.
Where does it?
You're gonna fall unless you take my hand. No, give me your other hand. Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand. No.
See?
No.
See? So this is what I mean.
We
It's
thought
"Take
it
my
was
little
"Take
hand."
My Strong Hand.
And this one completely blew me out the water like I'd popped some acid last night. Matilda. When in Matilda, she's in the classroom, okay? And then they start... Do you remember them saying, "Spell Mississippi"?
Yeah.
MISSISSIPP. It's not, it's difficulty. They spelled difficulty.
What?
Mississippi's not... It's not there.
I don't understand.
So...
I feel like. Do we have any more?
No.
I feel like, so after we delved into this, I feel like our brain, what am I trying to say? Our memories have been warped.
So there's different, right? So there's a scientific route, sort of like an NHS website vibe. That they've done studies where people have selective memory. Okay, so then, but
How can
that many
everyone
people
have a
are you
selective
telling me
memory?
that many people from when I grew up would go take my strong hand when actually it was "Take my little hand"? I don't understand. Like it's almost like they're saying that that's your preferred choice.
Yeah.
Like, we're not writing the dialogue. The dialogue was written for us. I'd love to... Please DM us and let me know if it was a little or a strong hand for you, because it was definitely a strong hand for me.
I feel like also the Britney Spears thing.
Yes, Britney Spears. What song did I say it was?
Oh, God.
Was it "Oops, I Did It Again"?
I don't know. I can't remember.
So she wears a red catsuit, that one. I think it's "Oops, I Did It Again." And she's got a mic. Now, for anyone that's done straws in a pub, Britney Spears mic. I had the Barbie doll, Britney Spears. with a mic. If you go on now to the music video, yeah, that bit.
Yeah, she
doesn't have a mic.
On.
There's no mic. There's no headset. She had a teeny weeny.
Look at this shadow. Doesn't that look like a mic?
Yeah, see?
That was
in that picture. That's not Britney Spears.
No. Oh no, that's someone pretending to be Britney Spears.
I was going to say, well, that's the older version of Britney Spears. I mean, you do you, but you're not Britney, are you? So the scientific, it's all about selective memory and like mass selective memory from what I've read into it. So there's bits in your cognitive brain that go, I don't really like how that sounds, so I'm going to change the narrative, which in everyday life you'd think that's someone that's like just making up shit. You know, when you're with your boyfriend, they're like, that never happened, and you're like,
it definitely
no,
did.
it did. That did happen. No, it didn't. It's like that, but bigger on a mass scale, where you literally sit there. When I was going through these, like researching into it, I thought it's like warping your childhood, like what you remember. How can I think, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Like, I've said that to Ava as well. And it's Magic Mirror. Why would it be Magic Mirror? It's a very strange situation, very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the fact...
So what do you think's going on then?
I feel like, this is because I'm a psychopath, it can't be the scientific reason, because why would we all, back in like the early 2000s, have said all this stuff, all of us, collectively? Like, me and you didn't even know each other back then.
Yeah.
And you were saying it, I was saying it, Dan was saying it. We're all from different walks of life, and we've all thought all of this, and everyone in America's thought it too. Everyone. So why that's not like we've all just gone, oh, that doesn't sound right, let's change it. It has to be that it's changed. But I feel like our memories at a certain point have been warped for some reason, and it's only happening to our generation. It's not happening to the new generation.
Because I think once you get to a certain age, like maybe like if you're my age, like your parents' age, they're going into like, oh, they're just getting a bit old. Do you know what I mean? If your dad's like, no, I remember, you'd be like, all right, Dad, like you're having a bit of a senile moment. That I feel like maybe they're like, oh, we'll leave them because they're just going to be a bit old. They won't really remember things anyway.
I feel like it's a bit like Men in Black vibes.
Matrix.
Someone's shown us like a flashing light at some point, and now everything's changed.
Like, it opens up another like hole of like all the Disney films. Like, they're like really fucked up.
They're all very paedophilic when you watch them back.
Really like subliminal messages. Again, like we've done a podcast before, like about with social media, like you're being controlled by social media. Everyone's like, it's a new thing. Obviously, before social media, it was done through like propaganda from the government and things like that. It was done through films and TV shows. Like, I swear to God, I don't know anyone who's got kids on this that agrees, Peppa Pig is like crack. If my children watch Peppa Pig, right, they're in a trance of Peppa Pig. Don't you think that's weird?
Yeah. It's,
you know, I imagine it like a screen, like a black and white circle. You know, the Demon Headmaster. Do you remember that programme where it was like looking to, like, and everyone like got put into a trance? It's so, nothing really happens in Peppa Pig for it to be that engaging.
I feel like it happens a lot now in terms of like watching our children grow up and they literally become like zombies to technology.
100%. And the problem is if you've got a child on an iPad or a TV, it's the same thing. If they're watching YouTube, because you have smart TVs, it's the same thing, isn't it? That's just the way the world is. We're so fast in technology that I feel like you're not really a child for very long now, are you?
No.
Like
our kids could probably navigate our phones better than we can.
100%. 100%. And I feel that the whole concept of like playing and like being a child and like having, you know, like make believe, like, you know, like role play, as in play kitchens and stuff like that, it's really hard to get your children to engage in that now, because it's like not exciting. They forget to use their like
that part of their brain,
their like imagination, because everything, you know, when you're younger and there'd be like a Barbie advert on at Christmas and it'd be like, oh my god, Barbie's dream house, and I'd be like, oh please, I want it so much, and I'd get it and it wouldn't be it'd be shit. There'd be no background, like it'd just be in your mum's lounge, and like you'd lift. I remember getting the thing, and it has a lift, and it like snapped off. Like it was so shit. The Barbie like wouldn't stand properly. Shaving Ken, he was another letdown. Didn't fucking work.
The pregnant one. Did you ever have that one?
No.
So weird.
No, I didn't have
You like
that.
lifted up her top, and then the baby would just like popped out.
Weird. Another one was pound puppies. Like it was this big dog, and then you opened its nun and that, and then all the little puppies would like come out. So weird. So weird.
Do you also, another one for like the Mandela, do you remember when everyone thought that if you put the aliens together they made baby?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
So you'd go to the pound shop. They were out. You couldn't get these things anywhere. They were so big. I remember being like, oh, I was so desperate for one. And then you'd like, they had like a bit where the mould was. So you're looking back, the square bit on the back was where the mould, where they'd taken the slime out the mould, right? Put them together and they'll have a baby.
So you'd put the two flat backs together.
I mean,
And then everyone would be like, yeah, mine had a baby. But then they brought out little baby ones. And then I was like, oh my God, it does have a baby. But it doesn't.
no, it doesn't. And also, like, there was no instructions for that made-up situation. Like, how long were you meant to stand there for?
I think, like, back then, though, we all used to use, like, yeah, our imagination.
You convince yourself that this was going to happen. There'd be, like, one person in the playground, like, egging it, probably me. Oh, yeah, this is definitely going to work. Getting all the troops in. And then you'd make it, you know, you'd have an influence on, like, making everyone else believe it, wouldn't you? Like, this definitely happens. Like, I just think, like, back then, like, toys were sick.
Oh, 100%.
Toys were so cool. Like,
I remember when I got, like, I was obsessed with Barbie and I was obsessed with babies. And, like...
Do you remember My Baby All Gone?
Yes.
She makes it all
And the little cherry.
Yeah.
And it smelled banging.
Yeah.
When I smell that smell, that's what... It takes me back there.
I love, like, nostalgia.
Yeah. Right, quickly, just back to this, because I've just seen something whilst we've been chatting. What do you think the lyrics are that the dwarfs sing in Snow White?
Hi ho, it's off to work we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi ho.
So that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's hi ho, it's home from work we go.
Right, okay. Again.
It's not.
It's not though, is it? Who's changing all this?
I don't know.
This is what I mean. Like, we both saw a video online and it was a woman that comes on and she's like, what have you got to say about a company that you used to work for that you can now because you don't work for them? We all have them, don't we? You don't say anything until you leave and then you tell everyone how shit it was. And she was like, I used to work for a company called Schmeishbook or Feta, which made me laugh. And she worked in the advertising department and she was like, all she said on that video was, if you think they're listening, they are. And it literally made me, even though I know that.
Yeah, but it's not a human listening. Did you watch the social experiment
half of
that I
it.
told you to watch? It's a computer.
Yeah, like a bot.
So all of this data, so me and you having this conversation now, buzzwords are being taken and sent to Facebook, which you agree when you sign the terms and conditions, and Facebook is Instagram and WhatsApp. So whether you've got Facebook or not, it's now all under Meta, who owns all of it, so it can hear everything.
Basically the MI5.
Yeah, the computer takes the buzzwords and then programs your phone to then, like, basically sell shit to you. So if I started going, oh yeah,
but it does happen as well.
I really, really, really want to get some new trainers. In about 10 minutes, me and Kim will both have trainer adverts.
I had it when everyone, like, over Christmas was like, gorgeous, gorgeous girls wearing short Ugg boots. And I was like, oh, I do want some Ugg boots. I liked them. What happened? On my Instagram, Ugg boot ads are coming up. The same thing that everyone's got these smiley face slippers. I spoke to Libby about it once.
Oh yeah, they've been coming up on my Instagram every day since you spoke to me about that.
Right, went on Etsy, found one pair of them. Now every company, The World and His Wife, is sending me links to buy smiley slippers. In fact, now I'm over it now because everyone's just trying to make me buy these slippers.
Yeah.
It's like Alexa as well.
Oh, do you know what? We have a really bad problem with our Alexa. She's a bitch.
Yours?
Yeah.
When I'm on the phone to Libby and I'm like doing the kids' dinner and I'm like, Alexa, put timer on for 20 minutes. Libby's is like, okay.
My Alexa thinks Dan's Welsh. So when he asks her questions, like play BBC Radio 1, it plays Welsh Radio 1. And then if I come along and go, Alexa, stop, play Radio 1, she'll play the normal one.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And he hasn't even got an accent.
No, he doesn't sound Welsh.
No, it's so weird. And anyway, she always just like pops off. The best thing about my Alexa is that I can like, we were talking about this last night. If you have the app, you can like navigate it from your phone. Sick.
So Libby couldn't get hold of him when she was out. So she was like, hello, is anyone there? Like on the Alexa, like her husband was at home with the kids, no one was answering. So she turned up the Alexa really loud and put Baby Shark. And
then I knew that he was like scrambling around to turn it off because it kept on my app stopping, and then I'd start it again, and then the volume was like going down on my app, and I kept putting it back up. And then I rang him and I was like, hi, and then he was like, hi, and I was like, how is everything? He was like, fine. And I was like, what's the Alexa doing? And he went, why? He was like, what have you done? It's playing Baby Shark really loud. Why is it doing that? You nearly woke the baby up. I was like, I don't know.
Oh, God.
So literally, if I can do that.
We've spoken about all this before, though. Like, when you actually start thinking about it, it honestly, like, freaks me out. Like, we've got a Ring doorbell. Like, if you think how many people have got that now, some people, like delivery drivers, don't even notice it's there, and they're like scratching their bum, like trying to like shove a massive parcel through the leg.
Do you know what? Your Ring doorbell gives me severe. I know that your husband's not going to listen to this podcast, so it doesn't matter. Every time I get out my car and walk towards your house, I'm like, oh god. Because
it and also it comes up. But what I like about it is, you know how people make videos when they get changed to look at their outfit. What I do is I walk out the door in the morning and then I go back on it, and then I'm like, is it a good outfit or not?
Yeah, and then
and
then she'll send it to me like, look at my outfit.
Like, is this a vibe?
And
or
then
not
she's
a vibe?
like strutting to the car.
I feel like I'm in a music video. Tears don't go, I'm wondering why.
Oh god, I bet there's a Dido Mandela. I reckon there is.
Dido was just, I mean, she good songs, but what's happened to Dido? Nelly Furtado.
Nelly Furtado had like that remix with Timberland, didn't she?
Yeah, she was good. Do you know what song I hated by Nelly Furtado? I'm Like a Bird.
I'm like a bird, I wanna fly away.
She was a bit edgy though. She was Spanish and edgy, and everyone just started wearing belly tops when she came out. Also, Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, I love her.
Daniel Bedingfield.
Oh my god.
No,
I was listening to Radio 1 when I was driving Shores the other week, and Greg James put it on, and I was like living my best life, and then when it turned off he was like, what brilliant song.
Some people like hate like life now and like how fast it is, that they live like for I'm so like that. Like I'm really sentimental. Like I love when I went to my mum's and I got all my old stuff out the loft, like take that spot. I love it. And I have that thing, you know, when you smell like a perfume and it takes you back to like a certain period of your life, or like Charlie. Do you remember Charlie spray?
Yeah.
And like the Body Shop. So now it's all Victoria's Secrets, but back in the day it was like £2 Body Shop body spray, and it was fig, and it had a picture of like a nun on it with a leaf. It was pink. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
I loved it. But I saw on social media this guy, his whole house, he lives on his own, like in his 30s, right? He's put his house back to what it was, like how he remembers his mum's house in the 80s. Kitchen roll holders up pine, everything's pine, lamps, an old telly.
Oh, that would only last so long though.
No, but he's got an old phone, like a proper phone, like on the wall, that your mum would get like tangled in on the wire.
Yes, I might get a lips. I used to have a lips phone.
I always wanted the burger phone.
Yeah, I spoke about this before. You can't hear anyone on it, and every time I'd ring someone, they'd be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, you ring me on the lips again?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "I can't hear you."
I wanted the one with the wires in it, the clear one.
Yes, we spoke about this before. Where you
can get it in Urban Outfitters probably.
But do you remember Uncle Cracker?
No.
You must do.
No.
He sung a song. It's come into my head since you were singing Daniel Bedingfield.
Also, what's coming in, okay, is low-rise jeans. And I know this is happening because so Kanye West, yeah, he's got a new girlfriend, isn't he? All this drama.
Oh my
with,
god,
like,
it's the
Kim
fucking
Kardashian,
leggings.
right?
Where's her ass? And her vagina? Where is it?
I don't know. I'm talking just about these trousers that I saw her in.
Yeah,
but basically, people think that he. I don't think he is. That's another podcast for another day. He's actually very woke, and he's just a normal person.
Have you seen that he's got a Netflix series coming out?
No, but like stuff like that, like right?
It's of the last 20 years of his life.
He is a style, like he controls fashion, like influences fashion. So when he's got a girlfriend or a partner, he sets trends like through the girl, like as a vision. Look at Kim Kardashian, what she was clambering around in, to now she's on like the front cover of Vogue, like doing like catwalks, like massively. She won an award, didn't she, for like her fashion contribution? It's because of him.
Yeah.
And Amber Rose, he did exactly the same with her, and then that set the trends for like minions like us. This bird, right? All she wears is low-rise trousers to the below on her pubic bone.
Yeah, but you can't even. What I don't understand.
They're on PLT already.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is her. If I wore them, you'd see my pubes, which I've tried to shave off, the shaving rash, and my arse crack. So please tell me.
Because back in the day, it was you'd go to Topshop, you'd get the tiniest G-string that you could. With like, do you remember Licenza?
Yeah.
With all the beads in the bag.
And they'd literally always have a sale all the time.
Yeah, it was like 20 knickers for tenner.
Yeah.
But you'd feel bougie because they'd wrap it in tissue paper.
Yeah.
And you'd feel special coming out of there, not like Boom Avenue where they're like, "Are you new here?" And you're like, and then like they sell in there is like key rings of. Like weird key rings that smell of lavender that you put in your drawer, and it's so anyway. Back in the day, for me, it was going to like Bay Trading or Licenza and all that, and Topshop, and your G-string would have diamantes up the crack.
Do you remember Tammy Girl?
I was always too fat for Tammy Girl, which is really sad. Actually, I never bought anything from and all my friends were in Tammy Girl. And I just couldn't because it's like the Zara sizing.
Yeah.
Tammy Girl. It's pathetic. Maybe that's why it went.
I got my first G-string from Tammy Girl. I was probably like...
My mum was mortified, like, washing these.
No, my mum bought me a bra and I was like, I want to try a thong. And she bought me a G-string and I was probably like going into year 7.
Yeah.
That was just what life was like back then. It was like, right, you're going to secondary school.
And they were really, like, bright.
Yeah, it was like, lime green.
Like, I'm a nude sort of gal now. Whites, nudes. I'm like a neutral underwear sort of person.
Yeah, but neutral underwear goes like... after
oh, yeah, until it starts going all skanky. Like, you put one slip in the wash. Well, see ya. But back then, it was bright pink, turquoise, leopard print. I bought a Dolce & Gabbana set, zebra print with a pink trim from that posh shop in Brighton Lanes.
Yeah, sick. But don't you feel like we're watching the generation below us turn into what we were?
Yeah, so, and some of these things are things I never thought would ever come back. When I was at school pickup yesterday, this mum walked in, right, she had a leather blazer on, it's from Primark, vibe, like brown. She had black, stretchy school flares. You know the ones I mean?
They're so comfy though.
But they were the proper old school. They had a tie-up at the top, like a lace, like you're a Tudor, right? She had a black t-shirt oversized, so it's like a big sort of look. Everything was really big. She looked like she'd like shrunk and all her clothes had got really big. And then to really take it to the 90s, she had her hair in a low bun with a pink scrunchie, and it was all like pineapple out of it. and then she had the 2 fringe bits coming down from the side, but she'd like gelled them.
Yeah, that's what my sister used to do.
Right? And I literally stood there and I thought, that takes me back to like being at school.
But do you not feel like if you look on PLT, you feel like that?
100%.
It's weird. Why are we going back?
I don't know. I think everything does come back round.
Yeah,
but
but
I'm living for like 50. Like
Yeah, that's what I was
vibe.
about to
Pencil
say.
skirts, little court shoes, like little shirts, sexy.
Why are we not going back to them times where men wore suits everywhere and we all actually got
Ooh,
treated
yeah.
like a queen? But instead we're dressing like
Well, I don't know if you
Spice
did get
Girls.
treated like a queen though, mate.
Yeah, because you got to like, well...
You didn't though. Honestly, the
They-
reality of it is they fucked off to work. You got left with 20 kids, no fucking money, and you had to clean the house of there was no fucking Hoover. It was like one of those.
I'm not talking about the
Hoovers.
1800s. There was Hoovers.
That's the 50s. It wasn't electric.
Yeah, but
Hoovers,
when you
though,
look
unless
at-
you were rich,
When you look at
you were
videos of
batting your
them, like,
doormat outside the door.
yeah, but when they'd go to a club, they'd actually dance, not be like,
yeah. But there obviously there was no phone, so there was no like mobiles, was there? So he ain't texting someone at night. He's
No,
popping
my
around there in the day.
My dad is like was from that generation, and he was such a like geezer back then, and literally like he said like you would just either have to use like a payphone
Yeah.
or you'd write them a letter.
Yeah, like my dad came down from Scotland, so they met. Yeah. They had a little breakup. He went back to Scotland, and my mum said she was like heartbroken. Like he'd be like, "I'll ring you on Wednesday." Like being a player, yeah. She'd sit by the phone box like outside my nan's house on a Wednesday, whatever time, like waiting for him to ring.
So cute.
Like it all just seems a bit much more romantic rather than constantly seeing them online on WhatsApp, and, like, checking where they are, like knowing like. I think it's because there was that element of like he might be busy, maybe someone else is on the payphone, whereas now you can see exactly what everyone's doing at any given time, and you have to accept at that moment he just doesn't fucking give a shit.
But do you not think like this life now compared to like what we grew up in? Like think about like Ava, yeah, and like Maddie. You are gonna, when we were growing up as like teenagers and like falling in love, there was none of that. Like I didn't know when my first boyfriend was like fucking around.
No.
And stuff like that. And now you've got like the constant, there was no dating, like the only dating app that you'd see would be Match, and it would be for old grannies. Now,
Yeah.
you can literally get laid in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Everything's fast.
Yeah.
And this is the reason like people end up being, and it affects mental health, I think, because we are not programmed to, everyone's attitude is I'll sleep when I'm dead vibe, I think. Like busy, we're all so busy, whether you've got kids, not got kids, in your career, trying to start something new, dating, you know, going out all the time. No one, and everyone's like self-care is like going to get your nails done, or going to what do people do for self-care? Put a face mask on, right, while they're sitting on Instagram, when actually I think that self-care is sleep. And I'm so guilty of that. I'll be like, I'm exhausted, and I'll keep pushing because everything's so fast-paced all the time. I really think that we're guilty of not pulling time back, and to actually get complete peace, you have to put your phone on airplane mode. But that seems such like a daunting thing, doesn't it, to completely switch off?
But
When I came off Instagram last year, I did it for the whole of January, and on the first like few days, I was itching, honestly. Like I was going on my phone to where the app was. Like I found it so difficult, so I was like, what the fuck am I going to do now? Like I haven't got anything to do. And I found it so liberating, taking that time, because you don't realise until you get a report down on your phone once a week, you spent 25 hours on the phone this week, you're 5% up from last week.
Can tell you've had some trauma this week.
Yeah.
No,
You're avoiding reality.
I think like we miss out on like actual life. Like when you think of your childhood and stuff like that, like I remember like when I think of like spending time with like my dad and that, it was like all outside. We'd always take the dogs like to like this river every Sunday, whereas now it's like, oh, what are the teenagers going to say? Oh, I played Fortnite all weekend. Oh, I went on Instagram all weekend. Like, there's none of... Like, we can all try as much as we want to, like, try and, like, convince teenagers to want to leave the house, but they don't want to.
No, they don't. Because that's their comfort to them. That's what they want to do. So that they... And I think that life is so... Again, it's so busy if they've been at school or college or whatever. That's their switching off. So it's almost like they'll go on a game or go on their phone to actually switch off from reality.
But when we talk about the Mandela effect from our life, we are saying it like, oh my God, I remember this, but it's changed. Do you not think that, like, the generation now that spends all their time on the internet, their reality is constantly warped? Because stuff on the internet can get... You know how fast-paced the internet is. It can all get changed overnight. Things can get deleted. Like... And I just think it's like... We all are aware. Like, if anyone's seen that documentary on Netflix, everyone's manipulated by social media. So all of the Mandela effect that's happening to us, I think we feel like completely terrified of it. Whereas I don't think any generation below us, because we obviously grew up where the internet wasn't really a thing, and then it kind of like came along. All these people have grown up just being consumed by social media and the internet, that I think everything, they're like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, controlled by it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've seen some people that is called going off grid. They pack up their shit and then they move somewhere and they completely disconnect, like, from everything. And do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like just going, like, I just want to switch off? I just want to switch off. Like, my brain has got its own little fucking Internet Explorer going on. It's like tab, all these things in my head, constantly busy. And sometimes I have so much shit to do, and then I'll go on Instagram. Like that. And I think that I see people on their phones, like my friends and stuff like that, and I sit there and I watch them and I just think, do you know what's really sad? You're spending so much time looking at other people living their life, but you're sitting in a room with me or my kids, and you're not actually switched on to the situation. We all, do you know what I mean? Because you're you know, when you're talking to someone, you meet up with a friend, or like you go on a date, or like your husband, and you're talking, they're on their phone.
Yeah, and they don't know what you're saying because they're
not taking anything in.
No.
Because they're looking at their mate partying in town.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, now life is, it's almost like we spoke about this before in our first ever podcast. You automatically are drawn to your phone, your iPad, your computer, your PlayStation. You're conditioned to go straight there, and if that's where you're getting all of your information, all of your like enjoyment, you're not like, everything is in that phone. Like, think of like influencers and stuff like that, like that's their life, like they constantly have to create content. Nothing is actually real. We're just going by what social media is telling us is correct. So for example, like talking about Kanye West, all he's got to do is put that girl in some trousers, and we're all like, right, we've got to get them trousers. So it, like, we're manipulated by the system.
100%.
Whereas we didn't have that back in the day.
You'd see a video of the Spice Girls, wouldn't you, and be like, I want hair like Jerry Hager.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember like Emma Bunton with those fluffy hairbands?
Oh, I love it.
Like, and I used to go to Saturday Market every week. This is what I mean though, like stuff like that. I feel like I've got children of all different ages, you know, like from 3 to 16, and I think that you can really tell, like, there's like less enjoyment in like little, or you really have to force it for them to go, actually, I did actually have a really good day, just chucking pebbles in the sea.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, and I know that we all do that, like you do get to a certain age, but I just think that they don't see it as entertaining. And I definitely feel like I'm getting old. Honestly, the stuff that my kids say to me, like, "Oh, have you seen that?" Or like, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think me and you have started, like, over the last few weeks, we're like, oh, fucking hell.
All Saints never ever came on in the car the other day. Oh, I love it. Right,
I love that song.
I remember me and my dad singing that in the car when he was dropping me to sixth form, right? And Ava's like, "Oh, what's this?" I was like, "It's All Saints." And she was like, "Oh, God." And I was like, "Do you not like it?" And she was like, "Well, old, isn't it? Never heard it." And see, when you're a child, like, Ava's nearly honestly, it hits you like a brick. You think, like, my mum always used to say to me, enjoy it when she's young, like, da-da-da-da. And honestly, I've really gone through it. Like, there's just such a change. Like, they're not interested. Everything is like, see now, if you were to say to a child probably Ava's age and up, what do you want to do? I think more so girls, they want to be an influencer. They want to be on social media. You know, we're spoon-fed like someone like Molly May. Molly May, hats off to her, but Molly May is a case in, like, isolation. If you look at the other people that came from where she came from, it's not the same. No. Like, I think you have, like, what, a 6-month like expiration date off Love Island before you're pushing a diet product.
But this is why she's done so well, is because she took herself away from Love Island and actually went into other things, whereas the rest of them are all, like, still got Love Island in their bio. But yeah, everyone wants to be an influencer, everyone wants to be famous, everyone wants, like, a high follower count. That is literally what most people aspire to.
And the thing is, it is more obtainable now in regards to, like, being a creator on TikTok. Massive.
Oh yeah,
it's massive. I would say more so than Instagram.
100%.
Because Instagram's more like, it's pictures, isn't it? It's pictures, it's reels, it's more established people on Instagram, I would say. But for the normal, like, Joe Blogsy people, you can go on it from when, I mean, there is younger kids on it, but I think it's 16, that age, that you can go on there and start making videos.
Yeah, and all it takes is for your videos to start going viral.
Yeah. They start making money. But it's all, you know, this world that we're fed into, and this whole concept
it can end
of it
very quickly.
Yeah, and also, like I said to Ava, like, you know, she's like, "Oh, Mummy, you and Libby do a podcast like that." Yeah, okay, but you do need to, you do. And one of my other friends, like, she won't mind me saying, but, like, we all went out for lunch, and her daughter was the same age as mine, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like, I want to do that. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to have my own channel." And she was like, "Well, you need to think about actually having a job with a steady income, and to do that, you need to get the grades at school that you need. Like, you need to have qualifications to fall back on, because as much as social media is such a big part of life, because the jobs are less, because more people are going to university, more people have you're in a competition with somebody.
Yeah.
When I got my job, it was, luckily, the woman was in a good mood. I had a bit of personality, and I literally blagged it.
Yeah, I blagged
my mum never thought
too.
I'd come out of there getting the job that I did. I dropped out of sixth form, and I was like, "Do you know what? Like, I was like, I'm going to Bluewater today." She went, "No, you're not. I've got you an interview." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to go. Like, oh, this is so boring. Like, why do I want to work there?" She was like, "Because it's a career." And I got it. Like, see now, that's like me then. 17-year-old Kimberley I wouldn't have got it, because I've not got the qualifications to go against someone that will get the same pay but they've got a degree.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think we're all dragged into this. I mean, obviously, if you can have a job that you can work from home, producing content, potentially getting paid for it, getting free stuff. It's a dream, isn't it? Why would you not want to do that? If you've got the confidence to do that and have a platform and to use your platform, like, in a positive way, why would you not want to do that? But at the same time, how long is it going to last for?
Well, we've seen with influencers lately that it can plummet in...
Oh, you can lose everything.
In a matter of minutes. So, like, yeah, I think we are all programmed to just want to be famous on the internet, and that does concern. Like, my son is 4 and he's like, I want to be on YouTube. He's 4. When I was 4, I was like playing with like Barbies and that, not wanting to be a YouTube. Well, I mean, if I'm going to try and make millions, might as well start it now.
I think it used to be, even like when they're that age, it was very much like, I want to be a superhero, or like I want to be a policeman, or I want to be a doctor. Like Ava's always wanted to be an author. Like she loves reading. She's really good at writing. Like, and I loved that. But see, it goes so quickly that they're like drawn into this almost like glamour. You know, it's glamorized, this whole thing of social media. Again, but I think the reality of that is it's not always real. There's very little people that actually put the truth of like, you're selling your soul to the devil, really. Because even if you wanted to portray that you're happy all the time and not put up the truth, like the actual reality, you've still got to get up and put that front on.
Yeah.
Then you start getting trolled, potentially. Start getting abused. Then you've got to deal with that. Then you've got to deal with, you're in competition with other influencers and other creators. That is, for instance, with the Mandela effect, when we looked up on it, you've only got to click, there's so many people like talking about the same thing. Because I think that there's certain situations that people are drawn to, so then everyone talks about it. Everyone's got a different opinion. So there's we're all talking about the same thing.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying by like things are manipulated. So like all of a sudden today you could go onto TikTok and everyone's talking about something, and then we all become drawn to it, and it's almost like it's distracting from something else.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like with our Mandela effect, we look back at like trivial things of, did they happen? I remember it this way. Whereas now I think we're manipulated in a way that like, say there's something going on with COVID, or like the paedophile ring with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, yeah.
We're then all looking at something else
Yeah.
on social media that's popping off that we're not paying attention.
So you think that's like the Mandela effect, like now, like yes, because when that awful situation happened at Travis Scott's concert and people died, right? And then Kylie put up a video, didn't she? Kylie put up a video of she having a great time whilst there was people being dragged up. I won't go into it. Blah blah blah. Awful. All of a sudden, Travis and Courtney got engaged.
Yeah.
The next week. So then everyone stopped talking about the Travis Scott concert, and everyone moves on to Courtney. Then it was all like everything was on Courtney. Then the weird divorce situation of Kim and Kanye. Then she starts seeing Pete. Then we're all like invested in that. And the thing is because life with the pandemic and stuff, life, you know, reality isn't great, is it? So I feel like we're all pulled towards the biggest example of that. The biggest example for me is Tiger King.
Yeah.
When the pandemic started, we were all having a great time, weren't we? Watching, everyone was like, that's all anyone spoke about was Tiger King. When everything was going on like around, and then with the government, if you notice, they'll go through peaks of talking about something and then it will drop off. Then something else will come up as a distraction from actually the reality.
Yeah.
Which again is propaganda. So we're all just controlled by the media. So maybe, but it still doesn't explain why. I remember one thing of Snow White.
Right, the reason why I think this, and this is going back to being a hippie jippy, is I think there's something that's happened in between a certain amount of time, and it's been our memory of anything that happened before that is warped.
Right.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but I can still remember like loads of stuff from when I was little.
Yeah.
You mean certain things?
Yeah, like certain, because like if you think of it now, when, say for example we're talking about it in like this time, like everyone is going to look back on like the pandemic, and are we all going to look back at it with the same view in 10 years time, or is it going to, or are we all going to have different views of it? We're all going to have different views of it, aren't we? But when you think back to all the stuff that's changed, everyone has the same opinion, but it's not real. to how what's happened.
Yeah.
How can we all believe something that's wrong?
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, they'd be like Tiger King, the first lockdown, Tiger King bashing pans outside the front of the house. It was sunny, everyone was having barbecues, and then it just got worse and worse and worse, didn't it?
Yeah.
From there on, devastating effects. But yeah, I suppose if you did like a roundup in 10 years' time, we'd
all have different experience.
Yeah, but I think we'd all say the same thing.
Yeah, but like, okay, but would we all say the same thing and it be wrong, is what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, because we would say things that we remembered, but the foundations of it was just a fucking shit show. So we'd all be like, oh yeah, you know, it was hard, you know, we were outside banging pans and, you know, the roads were quiet and we sat in the garden and paddling pools sold out.
I got to go to work and I didn't have to do anything.
You know, but I definitely think that obviously it's beyond any of our control, massively. But for instance, the situation with Prince Andrew in the news, that whole thing was almost blanketed. It wasn't put in the press.
No.
It was not in the press. There's so many things that we could personally talk about, of things that we've like researched on and rabbit holes and that are covered up by the mainstream media, because everything is controlled by the media.
If we did a podcast on that, it would get deleted.
Probably, yeah.
Because all of the documentaries and footage and anything like that we were looking at, it's not there anymore.
No. So this is what I mean. It's all very...
media can get wiped. So
yeah.
It's almost like all that research that we did at that time doesn't exist.
Yeah. And if you think about it like that, if you're putting all this, you're putting all your everything onto your, like for TikTok, right? We did a video. It's controlled. So it's all I was always brought up that we have free speech. My mum, you've got the power of having an opinion, right? And it's about how you voice that and about being educated and how you put that across. So don't be stupid with your opinion. There's certain things that you shouldn't talk about, or do you know what I mean? You need to think about what you say. But I've always thought that I've had the right of free speech in this country, but you haven't.
No.
You haven't. Of course you haven't. But people think like, yeah, in the UK, you know, you can say what you want, and you don't, because you're massively controlled.
If you talk about anything that is to do with anyone in a high power, anything in to do with the government, they will take it down. If you talk about COVID, they'll put a note on it saying that this is wrong information. When we just spoke about an influencer the other day, it got taken down for bullying when we weren't even being horrible. We were actually being quite...
I think for the situation
passive.
that we spoke about, it was completely... Yeah, we weren't at all. It was the opposite, wasn't it? It wasn't...
Yeah, like they ended up putting it back down after I got salty and did an appeal. But this is what I mean by, like, everything is manipulated and you can think something. So me and Kim did a lot of research on a certain situation that was popping off last year and still is going on in the background. We invested so much time in it, and now when you try and research it, it doesn't exist.
There would be no point us even talking about it on a podcast, because it would be removed. We wouldn't be able to talk to voice that story. Like, it's not even opinion. It's things that we've read. You can't talk about it. I just think that sometimes, like, the power of the people, for instance, like with influencers currently that have been in the press that have made, you know, big mistakes and done things they shouldn't have done, and it does go into cancel culture, doesn't it? Which is something that me and Libby don't support, because organically the people that support them should not support them, which would mean organically they would lose their platform. Yeah, I don't mean standing outside their house like with fire sticks and death threats and stuff like that.
If you don't deserve a platform, it should be taken away. Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
But people get so passionate, don't they? Mm. People get so passionate about tearing people down, right? But then these are the people that are so wrapped up in this whole not real. It's not reality, I feel. but they don't vote.
No, they don't.
They don't vote. They don't vote, right? So
please vote in the next election.
So whatever you want to vote, right? Take an opinion, take some time, right, and make a decision for you.
I spent a long time grafting to get Kim to feel this way about politics
because I was that ignorant. I was that person. Couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit. Didn't know who the Prime Minister was half the time. Didn't listen to anything. I mean, I don't even watch the news. I don't watch the news. I don't get involved in it. I make my own. It's a load of shit, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But the point is if we all took less time looking at other people, I guarantee that most people that go on Instagram are fucking sad. Not sad as in like pathetic, as in actually sad. It makes you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Even if you unfollow these people that you think, oh, I've done it, like, not hate to the people, I'm just like, they just don't make me feel good about myself for whatever reason. I unfollow them, then they just come up on something else. I unfollowed so many people before the new year, so I was like, right, have a clear out, right? So my Instagram page was so small, the feed, now they fill it with whatever the fuck they like.
Yeah.
That never happened before, so I can't even choose now what I follow because they fill my page with other shit that I don't want to see. But this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't look at terms and conditions and you don't read to actually what you're signing up for. It's all happy and clappy.
We're currently going through a dispute with something we signed up for.
Yeah, it's all happy and clappy at the time. You know, we all walk into these things like, yeah, fuck it, seems all right. One thing I've learned is maybe just start reading the small print because it will come and bite you in the arse. For instance, Facebook, Instagram, right? They have copyright of your pictures. They can do whatever even if your profile's private, they can do whatever they want with those pictures because they own your pictures because you sign up the terms and conditions when you sign up to these sites that you give them permission to do whatever they want with those pictures. For instance, if you put a picture up of your child, right? Whatever they're doing, that's your page, your private page, your child, for family. Get it? 100%. You can post whatever the fuck you like. Facebook own that picture. Instagram own that picture. So, what are they doing with that picture? Well, actually, without scaring you, they can do whatever they want with that picture. They could publish that picture because they've got the copyright of that picture.
I saw a TikTok the other day where this girl was watching a film on Netflix, and then it like zoomed in on like this girl holding a picture of her and like this guy that the film was about, and the girl that was watching it was like, that's my photo, and it was her husband. Yeah, it was her husband, and then they just imposed the person in the film's face on her face. And when she like contacted Netflix about it, like, that's my husband and you've covered my face up with her face, they were like, yeah, well, we were sold the image.
Yeah. So that's why I think like Libby's concept is so right. So the Mandela effect is what this Fiona Broom is like for us lot, like our generation going back, like things are just disorientated, like it doesn't make, it's like a Matrix effect. But we're living in the reality of well, it wouldn't be called the Mandela effect now. It would be called the social media.
Should we call it something else and copyright it?
It would be called the social media fucking loophole, whatever it is.
It's manipulation that happens every single day and you don't notice.
You don't have any like the thing is we're all like banging in a 4-digit password, right, to stop your other half looking at your phone, right, and fingerprints. But nothing you have, unless you live off grid. In my opinion, nothing you have is private. Nothing. See now, if you check your credit score on Experian, you can link it. So they'll go, you can boost your credit score, which would make sense, wouldn't it? If we link it to your bank account, we can see everything going in and out of your bank account, right?
My son's school's ringing me. Continue.
Everything would be coming in and out of your bank account. But so I did it, and it was like, oh, your score's been boosted. Okay, makes sense. Fantastic. It's benefiting me. When you got onto your banking app and you tick in third-party approvals, you've given them access to every single...
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking the chat. I thought, they'll just look at what I'm buying in that. No. You give them permission on the app to go back 6 years. Why do they need 6 years?
Of everything you've
and
done.
And where are they storing all this data?
And also, when you do that, so I'd really recommend you don't do that. You've done it, haven't you?
No, I've undone it now.
Right, okay. Because when you then go to purchase a house, when you go to purchase a house, for example, you only provide, we had to provide 3 to 6 months worth of statements. If you sign up to that thing on your credit report, they can see everything in the last 6 years that you've done through all of your accounts.
So you could be, you're putting yourself, if you've made a mistake or spent too much money 3 years ago, and then, but in the 3 months you've gone, you've been good, yeah, and you've sorted out your finances for your mortgage application, you're fucked, because they're going to go, well, you had a default actually, or you didn't move the money over from your savings account, where's all this, or blah blah blah. And the thing is, as well, is on the experience, it says for 30 days. So you have to, when you go onto your banking app, it's 60 days.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't make any sense. You're sharing your data, right? When you download an app onto your phone, it says allow location, allow access to pictures. It's your whole picture, hun. It's your whole album, and we all know what's on your camera roll. Probably, you're allowing social media companies, which they're all under the same umbrella, aren't they, really? But you're allowing them access to your whole phone. Everything on your phone. Different apps. Location. They've got your fingerprint. They've got your eye scan. Yeah. So people saying everyone's just worried, all these conspiracy people that the government attract, they are already, babes. They have been for a long period of time. But because it suits us and because it's convenient, because we're in this, I couldn't live without my mobile banking. I'm on the go. If I'm in Tesco's and I've got to move money, I don't want to go to an ATM machine or the bank. I want to do it on my phone. So it suits us all the time. It's working. It suits us, doesn't it? To be fast paced.
Everything is digital.
Now, even for your passport, you scan everything's on your phone. Everything.
Yeah, you go to a bar and they scan your driving license. Everything's digital, and it's terrifying. And we're gonna try and live off grid one day and run away from all you bitches.
I think that I would just. It is actually really interesting, the Mandela effect, and I know we've gone off.
We always go off.
But I think what Libby said is so correct. The Mandela effect for things in the past is really interesting, to have a look at, and we'd love it if you've got any examples of it. Then let us know. I'm sure there's ones that we've
there'll
missed.
be hundreds.
But I think to bring it back to being relevant to now, it is this whole, your whole life is just not private. You can think you're private and that you're safe. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. For me, you think you're cautious with that banking app thing. I had no idea because I just signed it because I thought it was going to benefit me. You don't look at the bigger picture.
No.
But unfortunately, the thing is with social media is we're all. I would put it out there that we're all addicted to it. It's like kryptonite. I think it can be so damaging, but yet we still do it, and we're not living.
I think it's because you have to use it for everything, don't you? For example, our businesses, we rely on social media for our business to run.
If social media went down for a week,
we'd be fucked.
Yeah, everyone would lose money. People wouldn't be able to, people are addicted to it.
Yeah. You
are addicted to it. And the worst thing is, right, is if you weren't on social media and you were having a good day and nothing bad happened, just a normal day, you just carry on about your business. You could go on to Instagram and see something fucking ruin your day.
Yeah.
Or say annoy, or someone be horrible to you, or you see a picture of something, or you see someone that doesn't look like that anyway.
You see your ex has got a new
partner. It's just so it can just dictate the rest of your day. What I would like to do a podcast on again is to revisit FaceApp, because fuck me, you can edit videos now with a filter once you've made yourself thin.
Yeah, I think we should go back to. I think next week we should talk about social media again, because since we did our first one, which was beginning of 2021.
Yeah, different.
So much has changed in a year. so much. And I think, like, if we reflect on where we started with that, it's fucking crazy.
In a year. And I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll film it and we'll use an app on a picture and we'll show you.
Yeah.
So you can see it. But it's been really nice getting this podcast out. Sorry it's been a bit late.
We actually had a bit of a technical issue last week where we recorded an entire
But
podcast.
we're getting a new space and new setup, new year. And we're just really grateful for everyone that's still listening.
And we can't wait for you to see the new content of us doing up our new office.
So have a good week. We'll catch up with you next week. And yeah, we'll do it about social media and the audacity of some editing apps. But yeah, have a good weekend.
Love you, bye.
Take care. Love you, bye.